think he didn't hear me because I was the only one talking.
I don't know.
I don't
Chat,
hear
did he
shit.
hear him?
Chat, did he hear me? Was we recording already?
No.
Was
I
we?
think we was.
Sure.
No. I don't think that we was.
Chat, I bet y'all wondering why I got on shorts today. It is, what's today?
Are you talking to the chat, like the chat box?
The chat.
Don't nobody comment that shit.
We have, there's been like one comment on each video.
The feet people?
The feet people. Remember the guy that you posted the debate about the N-word and that one guy was like, I think anybody should say it.
Bro, yeah. Bro, that video actually did pretty good.
I haven't checked up on it, but I figured
It's almost got like 300 views right now.
I figured it would. Does it have a lot of comments or no?
Yeah, it has like 7 comments.
I figured it would generate some type of...
Yeah, I fuck with that.
Whether good or bad. Probably medium.
No, it was like in between. It was
kind of like what we were talking about.
They basically came to the same conclusion as we did, but a couple of them didn't.
They were just mad.
A couple of them,
they were probably like, "Fuck him for."
A couple of them was on one side, and then a couple of them was on the other.
They weren't mad at me.
What did y'all come?
No, nobody was mad at anybody.
What was the agreement?
That like you shouldn't say any cuss words at all.
You should watch what you say, but always think of the repercussions that what you say may have.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, don't say it unless you really standing on business.
And then at the same time, you shouldn't allow words to hold any sort of power,
right?
Negative power
that
towards
was the
you.
moral compass to it, like
exactly.
Don't let words affect you, but don't use words that you think will affect.
Like both sides should have a respectable perspective on both sides.
Before you say something, you should think, is it going to hurt someone?
For sure.
And if it does come out, whoever it might hurt should be like, should I let that hurt?
Should reevaluate if it was out of disrespect or if it was just out of like comedic purposes.
Right. But and we did also talk about in a lot of comedic purposes, they come to the expense of someone else. You know what I mean?
They can.
A lot of them do.
Well, it's
all
all right.
good jokes got true. We're not having that debate right now, though.
We're not having that debate. No. I want to start doing debates, though.
We could, because, I mean, that's going to help you practice for the future.
For real.
Your future. You want to know what's crazy? I actually talked on the phone with somebody that doesn't really watch the podcast. And they were just asking me general questions that people that don't know anything about what we got going on would ask, like, where did you guys start? Where did it come from?
Yeah.
What do you guys like really talk about? What is the general basis of like your podcast? And I was just telling them, like, we really talk about anything, even the things that a lot of people don't want to talk about. And I was just saying like, we talk about it because our opinions are small to the world. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, like, they really don't matter. And they were explaining to me like, yeah, you might say that they really don't matter, but you guys are just helping push the narrative that like nothing matters.
That agree with what we're saying,
and it kind of had me dumbfounded. And I was just like, realistically, I don't care. I'm going to talk about whatever the fuck I want to talk about, and that's what it comes down to.
What do you mean that they said that it doesn't matter? Like, what doesn't matter?
Like I was saying, like they were saying, like, what are like the controversial topics that we talk about? Like sometimes we talk about like saying the N-word.
Yeah.
Can you be gay or transgender or like shit like that? You know what I'm saying? And they were like, pretty much you are the reason that it's a problem because you're treating it that like anybody can say whatever because their opinions doesn't matter. And we were pushing the narrative to like kind of like keep it going in a way. And I was like, I could understand what you're saying, but regardless of if I stop, it's not going to speak for anybody else.
I think that there's a lot of different conversations that should be had. Like, I know that we bullshit a lot on the podcast. Like, there's a lot of, like, comedic things that happen on the podcast that are just for shits and giggles.
Of it, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just for fun and entertainment, wholehearted entertainment. You know what the fuck I'm saying? But I think that there's a lot of... It. Yeah, and I think that there is a lot of different conversations. This is why I want to get into politics eventually, because there's a lot of different conversations that need to be amongst everybody. Then they need to be taken seriously because it affects everybody as a whole. But in order to affect everybody as a whole, you need to get into each individual person
and how they
individually
feel. Right.
and exactly. And basically purpose the conversation around that person because everybody is different in their own ways,
right.
And they all have different lives, and it's very complicated. So it needs to be certain things need to be talked about,
figured out,
and a lot of times we do generalize certain conversations, but there are serious topics that need to be talked about that a lot of people don't talk about, like what we was talking about, because there are a bunch of things that are in the dark that need to be taken to light, because it's like,
and they don't say anything because it kind of is like it's a controversial talk, but you're never going to find an answer to it unless you do debate or you speak your mind, because there's always going to be multiple sides.
And a lot of people don't even realize that there are certain things that should be questioned, because a lot of people just go about whatever is happening in their life and however it's being ran, and then they're just going along with the flow, and then they don't care.
They don't care. They
and
just
then they're making
life.
Yeah, and then everybody else is basically telling them what they should believe, and then they automatically believe it.
I get exactly what you're saying. That makes a lot of sense, don't it?
Well, I'm one of those people that don't really give a shit. Like but I don't listen.
But I understand
not
that.
take somebody else, like if you tell me something, I'm not just gonna listen to it. I'm gonna look at, do my research, my due diligence. I'm gonna do
your research.
Yeah,
right. But you got to understand, like off the cuff, a lot of people aren't doing their research. Like I will admit myself. Sometimes I am not dumbfounded, but I am proven wrong, and I do end up learning a lot of shit. A lot of times when I talk to Carson, because he has done his research, and I just like to come off of my brain, off of what I've seen, heard, and like not really paid much attention to.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Are you one of the people that, like, when you see a post and then somebody comments something, you believe it?
Not necessarily.
Or do you do your own research on
if
what
it's
they're
something
saying?
that's really powerful, like to catch my attention like that, 9 times out of 10 I'm gonna do my research,
like
and
but
I'm not gonna do like deep research. Like I'm just gonna look up the topic and see what the top top ones are.
And that's real. That's a big thing too, because people will do that and then they'll look it up and click on the first thing they see on Google, and then there's more to it though.
Then what it?
Because like in that book, especially, like I'm reading about, it's called the Real Anthony Fauci by
Anthony Fauci?
No, hell fucking no. By Robert Kennedy Jr.
Who's Anthony
RFK
Fauci?
Jr. Anthony Fauci was the head of the CDC. I'm pretty sure the head of the Center of Disease Control, and they was over how COVID was.
I figured that's how it was
handled.
Work, yeah.
It was over how COVID was handled.
It was more of a control thing, wasn't it?
The whole entire thing was based around corruption.
I told
you,
dude. Yeah, I mean, we could see it. Like
I'm not even.
How did you get that book?
How did I get that book? Because I watched a lot of.
Well, no, where did you purchase it?
Oh, Amazon.
Barnes and
no. Barnes and Noble.
Well, no,
I swear to God, I was gonna buy it and I found it at Barnes and Noble's.
I wonder
before I bought it.
Like this shit, like they wouldn't allow certain shit to be heard, like a certain.
Exactly.
Have you ever heard of the Pale White Horse or something like that? There's a book, and there's a version of it on Amazon that has like 300 pages missing.
Really?
And you can't find the original anywhere.
Whoa.
And
unless you got it.
Yeah, people have talked about it on, I think, the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah. And I'm afraid that's how that book's gonna be eventually, because that shit.
It says too much.
I wonder if it would have made it this far.
It's so fucking wild. I'm not even a quarter of the way through it, and it's disgusting. I'm not even.
What you mean by that? Like,
it's disgusting of like the horrific things that those
they
people
can do to
do
us.
that they just do, because they really don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about nobody.
Oh,
and Bill Gates is
center of it, ain't he?
Dude, Bill Gates. There's a lot of different people in it. Like especially like Dr. Fauci. He was. I don't even know if I want to get down deep into it. Because,
I seen this video and it was saying like, your family is as big as the best thief. You know what I'm saying? And he was saying like, your best thief is. He was saying like, you're not gonna get nobody really gets anywhere without doing something that is considered dirty. You know what I'm saying? Or taking something from somebody. So the person that can take something in the best way or in the best manner is going to be the reason why you carry on. Not necessarily you carry on that wealth, but like he was saying, your family is as big as the best thief.
Yep.
Yeah, and
I could agree.
I definitely understand that. And I've actually thought about that before because
it's coming to light a lot
like
more.
We talk about,
they're exposing the rich
for real,
for being the biggest thieves.
Like we talk about that shit, but there are certain, I side with both sides in that situation. Whenever we're talking about like elites or like wealthy people, very wealthy people, and then just like average people like us, like. There is like a huge difference, but you also got to consider of how they got there to be very wealthy to begin with. And whenever we're talking about capitalism, that's whenever we get into that conversation of capitalism, because there's like a disparity there there's like a big wealth gap, because there is 1% of the people that control 99% of the money going in and out of, the 1%.
You are wrapping my brain right now.
1% of the people control 99% of the money, and then 99% of the people control the other 1% of the money.
I get kind of like I get how that coincides, but like there's no bigger picture to me is like how can people be in debt when money's printed? You know what I'm saying? That just doesn't make sense to me at all, and that's why I'll always.
Why doesn't it make sense? What doesn't make sense about it?
How can you be in debt when money is made as simple as like a click
What's
of a
up,
button?
Dylan?
That book was called "Behold a Pale Horse."
Okay.
Behold a Pale Horse. So
I'll check it out.
Yeah, look into that. I'll even send
I bet you somebody's got the original like the
They've
original
talked about it on I think that
ton.
Alex Jones or somebody like that.
Alex Jones talked about some he talks about some real shit, and then they label it as a conspiracy. Like he was talking about 9/11 before 9/11 even happened. Because there's certain events that leads up to it, and you can tell what's about to happen next based on those events that's currently happening.
The Simpsons.
Exactly.
Bro, I don't even.
And that's why, like, a lot of people, like you said, like you don't give a fuck.
In that lukewarm, not give a fuck mindset, because at the end of the day, I'm not controlling.
Because,
that shit.
Yeah, and I do understand that. I was having this conversation.
I don't care about that conspiracy. I try to block all that.
I don't mind,
Yeah.
but that makes me not pay attention to anything because I never know what's real.
And see, I understand that too, because, like, to an extent, ignorance is bliss. Because, like,
that's where I'm at.
Because you're completely oblivious to all the terrible shit that's happening in the world.
Yeah, bro, I don't.
And I definitely understand that.
At the same time,
I'd rather be.
That also makes you more intrigued to it. Like, what the fuck is going on?
I just like watching. Exactly. I like watching the drama, not being a part of.
See, I like to understand the truth and the full truth about what it is, because it can affect you on a larger level, because
you understand
it's big problems that's happening, but it's affecting everybody individually. And I believe if we shine the light on it and everybody knew about it, then it would be less acceptable for those things to go on. Like, a lot of the times people even know about it, but there's nothing that they can do about it. That's why I understand that part of, why would you give a fuck about it, because there's nothing you can do about it. But and that's what I
don't stress over what you cannot control.
That goes back to what I was saying earlier, because if everybody on an individual level knows about the shit like that, then we can stand up and be a bigger part of it and do something about it as a whole, because we're more powerful as a whole than we are as each individual person.
And and that's kind of like what they push onto us. They push so much that they kind of, like I said, I don't know what the truth is, and it makes me feel like, like, fuck it then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like they screw it so much to make people that are kind of in the middle or like don't know too much to feel that way. You know.
And whenever they make laws, have y'all ever read the laws that they make in the government? Like, whenever they make laws in the House or the Senate,
it's to benefit.
How many congressmen do we have that make laws? I know, like 300.
Oh, 400? I have no idea. Like, but
why the fuck do we even
have you ever took the time to even look at the laws that they make?
No.
Mm-mm.
It's fucking insane. It's a mind fuck. Like, they make something so simple Whenever they make it so complicated that you can't comprehend it, that's why they do it. So they make it so complicated that you can't comprehend it, so that you don't care about it, so that they can ease in,
apply
whatever the fuck that they want to ease in,
like exactly. COVID, essentially.
And then they inch ways into it so that everybody is acceptable.
We told you about this at this point, and you didn't recognize it because you didn't. It was something.
Exactly. We're passing the laws,
a manipulation,
and this law is actually public, so you can go online and look at it right now. But you're not going to.
It's a fucking 3-page fucking article about one thing
on one law. Exactly.
Thank God for our Second Amendment.
It's a mass manipulation.
You say what?
I said thank God for our Second Amendment, or our guns wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's something that they're trying to ban. They don't want us to have guns.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're like slowly inch their way towards.
How long do you think it'll be before we don't have guns? Like we're not allowed to.
Oh nah, bro. We're always gonna have guns. If we don't,
think so?
Yeah. If we're not allowed to have guns, then the government's gonna be taken down.
Yeah, I was about to say. I feel like that would be the point of rebellion. I think they know that.
Most definitely, it's in the Constitution. Like it.
Well, they know that at that point. They've already threatened it, and we threatened the same. Exactly what your retaliation.
Yeah,
they're not gonna take our gun. They can't.
It's a loop, right? So like, it was put into the Constitution. So if anything is to be reversed in the Constitution, they need to make another number in the Constitution in order to go against
alcohol.
It. Like slavery was, because slavery was built in the Constitution.
That will be so revolutionary.
But later on, they put in the Constitution to outlaw slavery. So then they had to make a whole different.
There will essentially be a whole nother war inside of us.
But that's the thing. That's the thing about the Second Amendment. That
It's over guns.
If it were to happen, then that's exactly what that law in the Constitution is for. Is if that were to happen, then it's
a war against guns.
Then it goes against the whole entire purpose of the
law.
The whole entire purpose of the country. That the ideology. That ideology that the whole entire country was built off of,
and that would make the people turn on the fucking country, which would be
absolutely exactly.
We're not turning the country, but turn on the government.
So dumb with those lads.
Well, on a larger scale, yeah.
Back to what we was talking about before with like the whole politics thing, and I feel like as our job as men, like damn. It's just take care of your family. Like, still know what's going on out here, but just take care of your family.
For sure.
That's what makes me not. I was like when the election, that's when everything kind of comes to occasion for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And I would tell everybody, like, dude, at the end of the day, I got a family to feed. Like, as long as I can still go to work and make the money to feed my family, like there's nothing really that I can do except go to work and feed my family.
But the reason that I said what I said is because that whenever you elect the officials that are running the government, they will directly affect your family.
Gas prices and like the shit that we really do worry about as workers have directly changed with our change of president, and we've seen that immediately.
That's why they say to vote with your wallet. So whenever you're voting,
I see what you're saying.
You should vote with the intentions
that you're going to make more money. That's going to benefit you and your family.
You financially.
Also, I look at these people's backgrounds too that you're voting for, because a lot of them
they all got shit backgrounds. Mm-hmm. Well, no, I mean, you're going to find something dog shit about everyone.
I'm saying like what they stand, like they could say something and then be completely against that.
Absolutely, because a lot of the times in politics,
about Biden, about how he wasn't racist, but they pulled up clips of him pulling for the opposite party.
Like, that's besides the point. Like saying that he could lower taxes and then that he does the complete opposite, pretty much.
Well, that's the thing about being in politics.
I've had to pay in taxes since I've been out of school. I've had to pay taxes.
See, that's the thing about being in politics. These politicians that are in Senate and just in politics for like their whole life is that they eventually will get corrupted, because after a long period of time, they're just wanting to keep their job.
Yeah,
because that's what they've been doing their whole life. So they're going to do whatever they have to do in order to keep it going and get elected next. So they don't really give a fuck about the future of what's going on. They're just in it for themselves and all their buddies. So that's why we're in so much debt right now too, is because people keep, like, debt as a country. because they keep on spending money and spending money and spending money and spending money with no repercussions because they believe that
it's just going to roll over.
It's just going to roll over. They don't even care.
National debt?
If you keep printing money, it's going to lessen the dollar.
I think that it's possible, but it'll be like there's a lot of
ties with China.
There's a lot of no.
Well, I feel like our money would have to be here, pretty much.
Oh yeah, I don't think that we'd have to completely cut ties with China, but I think that there would be certain
90% of our shit.
We're not with China. We're allies to China, ain't we?
No,
not allies, but like we're. What's the opposite of allies?
Well, I mean, I'd say
enemies.
We are allies.
We're enemies to China, but we use every. That's what
Huh?
I said. I figured that we would be allies because we literally receive every.
Which
Temu
at the same time, you can do business with somebody and still not really fuck with them.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, exactly because like there is no written contract that we will back them up or they will back us up during the war. Most likely, we already know that they are already against us in any sort of time of war that's going to happen. So
and that's what's crazy. I don't understand why we trust him so much to receive so many goods and like for our people to
because we have an open market, and Americans do have the government does control like what goes in and out of the country and what can be taxed and shit whenever it comes to tariffs and everything like that, but. The thing is that we as consumers have to pick whatever we want. Exactly. So
but why do they?
Us being an open market,
if they're going to make us vote and go through all these laws, why do they give us that type of
now
power
they could
to be overtaken in that way?
You said what?
If they're going to make us vote for like give us governors and all that shit, why would they give us reins to choose that? And because essentially we can be taken over that way if they aren't our allies. And we consume so much of them, and that's because it's our choice. That is their easiest way to overpower us. Essentially,
I know
they have they have direct. TikTok,
exactly.
China, Temu, China.
That's the thing. That's the thing too, bro. Is that
it's gonna happen so fast?
And that's exactly what's going on right now.
You like Roy Cooper?
I don't really know on a.
You know who that is?
Yeah, I don't really know like local politics as much.
The doorbell just rang.
Yeah, come in.
Might be Caleb.
Who is it? Hello? Huh? Hold on, I got it right here. I got it pulled up right here. Oh.
It was
what was we okay.
She's on the lease.
Like Roy Cooper.
I fuck with that man, bro. He's trying to get porn banned.
Yeah, I fuck with that. Roy Cooper's a Democrat,
though. Y'all with that shit, but like,
I'm pretty sure.
I mean, might as well be.
No,
it's good to ban porn. I mean, even if you do like it, it's not good.
Dude, think about the kids. Like, I'm not saying us.
For
We're
real.
adults, but I'm
They're
saying
exposed to everything, bro.
But at the same time, like, if that shit's banned where they can't access
it's good. It's very good that it's banned from the kids. But that's what I'm saying. But that was our problem. It wasn't banned.
Exactly.
I remember in 5th grade, I was introduced to my first porn website on the elementary school playground, getting ready to go to 6th grade.
Me too.
A buddy, and I went to my homeboy's house, and his mom was a teacher.
Yeah.
But we looked up on his laptop that website. And we didn't jerk off. We just sat in front of the computer screen and watched porn.
I think
for hours with hard-ons.
Whoa!
And the next day he felt some type of guilt, so he told it. We were fucking 10, we were 11, 12 years old. It was our first time ever like watching porn. We weren't gonna jerk off. Like we had no other choice but to be. We were watching sex for the first time.
Yeah.
So I guess he felt guilty or whatever the next morning.
Before we even had sex.
Yeah. So
exactly.
Like. The next morning, I guess he felt guilty, and he told on us while I was in the pool with the rest of his family, and like he was inside telling his mom on us. His mom was pissed and ran all the way up to and drug me out the pool and like drug us up to a room and was like she was gonna tell our preacher and our basketball team and everybody because he was watching porn and we had he pinned it on me because I told him the website. No, you don't know him. I mean you know him, but I don't think it's who you think it is. But
That's
pretty
wild,
much. I was
man.
just we pretty much was like we were innocent to a point,
Uh-huh.
but like we did watch it for hours for
Yeah.
no reason.
All kids are going to experience.
We were that's what proved our curiosity. We literally watched porn for hours with just
But
watching
you know what
it.
They say curiosity killed the kitten.
But like being accessed to that at so young,
Yeah.
we should not have been
fucks up your
watching
brain.
that shit. Like it'll fuck you up because it makes you like I have
Makes
to
you
admit
fucked
like
up in
it
the
made
head.
me want. Like it wasn't long. Like once I started having sex, I was a whore. Like I
was fucked up in the head, fucked up in the brain.
fucked up in the head, fucked up in the brain for
Most
fucked up in the head,
definitely.
fucked up in the brain, fucked up in the head, nigga, fucked up in the brain, fucked up in the head, fucked up in the brain,
Ripping
fucked up in
and
the head,
hugging.
nigga, fucked up in the brain.
Yeah.
I was really tore up,
Hell
bro.
yeah.
Like I had a whole completely different thought about sex.
Yeah.
Really, I thought I was supposed to be fucking like a porn star.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
That is not it, brother.
Hell
I mean,
no.
that's not.
Porn
But
whores.
I kind of question that because I don't know no better at this point.
Do you ever wonder like what their view on things are?
Who?
Like porn stars? Like
They've been coming
No,
out doing
fuck no.
podcasts, bro.
like,
They
like,
Nah.
like Johnny Sins. Like,
Bro,
you ever think like does these people even have a soul?
Dude, let
You know,
me tell you something, bro. Most people like that'll do shit like that. Well, actually, let me take that back. Not just those exclusive people, or those people
Oh,
exclusively.
he about to get on like the OnlyFans. and
No,
all that
listen,
shit.
it's not just those
They
people
about to be in the
exclusively.
comments going
I'm
crazy.
saying everybody in general.
I'ma just listen.
You most of the time adapt whatever they say to their past, right, or to their present, or to whatever they want to tie
some type of trauma.
whatever they believe.
Is that what you're saying?
No, they'll tie whatever they believe
To a valid point in their life.
to validate to justify their
They're doing.
validation
actions,
from other people.
to justify their
Not
actions.
validation, but justification.
Yeah, they'll say what they believe
I'm
to
doing this because
justify
of this.
to justify what they did in the past. So, for example, Mia Khalifa has been talking shit on like the podcast and shit about what she believes a man should be or some shit. Whenever she's had fucking
It doesn't
100
reflect on her
billion.
past at all.
Exactly. She's not taking account, instead of taking accountability for the mistakes that she's made. I
They're
call
not-
them mistakes because it fucks up her life. And anybody that gets into porn,
it's
a choice,
one
though.
of the biggest sins.
well, yeah. And
I mean,
just,
there's no sin
just
greater than
besides-
the other. But I get what you're saying. It's
Just
not
besides
looked
that,
at.
if you're not looking at a religious perspective, just besides that, it's just morally wrong because of how you get perceived in the world as a person.
The only reason everybody's looking at her is not because of what she's talking out of her mouth right now. It's because they've seen her fucking.
Exactly. That's the only reason that she's known for. So now she's on the web.
Contradicts her image.
It completely contradicts what she's saying because now she's on the internet talking shit about
what she was.
No, not even what she was, but what she thinks that a man should be, and they should cater to her being a whore, which doesn't make any sense because then it validates.
If anything, it's really the other way around.
What do you mean?
Like as men, we're here to like.
Yeah, you're saying
you
like
can't
we're the
have a
prize.
kid without
We
us.
are the prize.
Yeah.
In a sense,
No, not even in a sense. If there was only one man in this world, what are you gonna do?
Well, I mean, yeah.
But
And I hate to put it that way, and I'm not trying to like downgrade anything or downplay anything. You can't carry anything without an egg for sure. But if there was only one male, I mean, sure you could create a family from that, but like how far are you gonna go if there's no other males?
what you mean?
You can only
Like
go
building shit? Is that what you're talking about?
Like the world. How far is the world gonna go around with no male?
Yeah.
It would.
It's not.
No, like have you ever
It'll
heard
eventually die out.
Have you ever heard the expression
Just like
it's
an extinct animal.
it's a
Is there
man's
more females
world.
or males on
It's
the
a
planet?
man's world, but it would be nothing without a female.
It's exactly right. It would be
For
nothing
real.
without a girl. 100%.
Yeah, like everything, like for men, everything would be functional. Everything would function perfectly fine, but we would have no reason to live.
None.
We wouldn't be here without a woman.
Yeah,
Period.
I mean, but really,
I get a lot of my morals from a woman. Not morals, but I've learned. I was brought up my you know what I'm saying? Like my grandpa's passed away, and then my pops passed away. So like I was raised by a lot of women. And
Yeah.
I can't say that I'm a bad kid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But, and there's a lot of other people that have been brought up in that way. You know what I mean?
You just miss out on certain traits.
Yeah, there are, like, there are
like
certain things. Like, you miss out, like, a certain type of love. A masculine presence, basically. Yeah. So then.
Tough love.
And it's not even that you don't have it, because, like, I can't say that I didn't have a masculine presence, but I didn't have it at home.
Yeah,
it seems like you kind of had both. Like,
yeah, I took a lot from my masculine presence away from home, because before my dad passed away, I was a daddy's boy. Like, I was always up under him, and like, even when he did pass away, me and my mama didn't click. We still don't click. You know what I mean? I don't. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like, I always clung to a masculine presence. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's what I paid attention to.
But like childhood, a lot of the things that happen in your childhood will affect your relationships in the future and what you perceive a relationship should be in the future.
Bro, you hit the nail on the motherfucking head, bro, and you are dead ass right, bro. And that's why I say, that's when you was explaining that porn shouldn't be introduced.
Exactly.
Like
that goes along with it too.
I know you've heard, like, a lot of our parents, like back in the 80s and 90s, like when we were getting made up and incubated and shit, like they was fucking a lot. And like I remember seeing and hearing and seeing sex and watching porn. Like my dad had a collection of porn in his room open. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember plain as day as a young kid stealing one and watching one. And like as I grew up, I realized like I was telling y'all, like I had a whole different perception about like sex, and it didn't have love or lust to it at all, because I had seen it at such a young age. It was nothing. So then
you associated what you've been seeing on the screen to what you believe it should real life be.
Exactly, and that's not it.
Yeah, nowhere.
So
that's
close.
why it fucks you up.
I've had to break those chains in a way, because that's all I thought it was.
And see, that's one of the biggest reasons that women today are so sexual now. It stems from that as well. It's not exactly, because it's not just their fault that they're acting like that. They do need to take some sort of accountability, but
it's
I think
the man's fault for wanting it.
I think both sides should take accountability instead of just one side. Like we was talking about with Chandler whenever Chandler was here.
There's too many desperate men out here for it to stop.
Exactly. It's always going to keep on it.
I mean, even the ugliest female,
you can pay for pussy.
Yeah,
even the ugliest female could get attention from a male, even 10.
Exactly, but that never happened. Yeah. That's because of the internet too. See, that would have never happened. Let's say fucking 40 years ago. That would have never happened 40 years ago, because
go back to those days.
40 years ago, or even 20 years ago, like a woman, an average woman would want an average woman would want an average man.
You know, back then obesity was like a sign of wealth. Like if you was
that was a long time.
Oh no, that was like in the.
But I know. I'm saying like back then.
But going back to what you were saying, like 40. My grandma was her second husband was in World War II. Like he was in his 70s when he passed away. And I was like 2 years old. Like I don't even remember meeting him. And he was in his 70s. And my grandma just passed away this year, and she was just in her 60s. So he was like 20-some, almost 30 years older than her. You know what I'm saying? Like they did not see any type of. They didn't even see age back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how much it really. They didn't have lust over anything. Like it was just who could cater to their needs best and was the most available to them. They barely could talk on the phone. You know what I'm saying? Like
exactly.
That's exactly what it was.
I feel like, and that's what made it real love.
Exactly.
Yeah. Nowadays, I feel like you don't really know what love's like until
at
least you're 20.
That's what he was saying. Like porn fucks with that, because then you're always chasing lust instead of love, because love isn't lust, and people get confused with lust and love.
You see lust at such an early age, and you're never going to receive love until later on.
So then you think that's what love is, because
correlated.
Exactly.
I've been listening to a lot of Christian podcasts lately, and it's like had me
convicted, ain't it?
Well, it's like I wish I would waited till marriage now, because like there's so much more like an achievement.
It's a goal that you want, and you work so hard, and you get past that stages of. I get exactly. You kind of feel convicted.
Says in the Bible, you will be punished in this life and the next. And that shit scares the fuck out of me because, like, what is to come? You know, like
it makes you want to prepare.
What's going to happen in the next life?
Well, bro, and that's a big thing that I'm a big advocate of is a nuclear family too. Is just having kids with a mom and a dad in the house,
like you did, like you had.
Exactly,
and that's talk about that a lot, and that's what everybody really strives for.
For real, I talk about that shit a lot. Really,
you should talk about it a lot because you are one of the few. Like a lot of people, a lot of kids deal with that type of trauma.
Exactly, I would love. That's one of my I believe is one of my big purposes.
What's
too.
Crazy is the kids that are even kids now are still gonna have to deal with that type of trauma because we don't know any better because we've had to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Like I know so many people or I have so many friends that if they haven't had a parent pass away, their parents have divorced or left each other or split up. There's so many, bro.
So many. Like
80%
probably.
Like you are one of the few. Right, you know what I mean?
I know, and I'm very very
even the ones that are still together. There's like shit that's going on in their family that they know about, but they're still together just based off of an image.
And I
feel like that's our parents.
My parents stayed together. My dad left my mom 2 weeks before he passed, so like they don't even know that he left her for real.
Yeah.
But I remember it was pretty much him saying that the only reason he stayed with her until that happened was because they had kids together to raise, and they didn't want them to have to live with a broken family.
Yeah,
which is good, but
if you don't want to answer this on podcast, you ain't.
Go ahead.
How did he?
I think they never did really figure out a reason through the autopsy, but like it was he had seizures, and through all the shit and the stress that was going on, they kind of ruled it as a seizure and a heart attack.
He might have known something that he didn't want y'all to know and was trying to protect you from in a sense.
I was a very nosy, messy kid. I was on top of everything. Like I know a lot of shit that they don't even think that I know.
Something like that very well.
You can. He hit a lot of shit that I did figure out and I found out, but I don't think he would have been. It was some. Nah. But shit does happen like that, and it is because a lot of parents struggle between having that conversation to their kids at that point that they don't want to be together anymore. Mm-hmm. And I don't say that you should fight it and try to hide it.
But that's what I was saying too.
Focusing on the relationship first.
That there's a big difference between love and lust too, because whenever people fall out of lust, then they believe that they're falling out of love.
Yeah.
So then, and especially whenever times get hard within a relationship,
it's so quick to
especially whenever there's kids.
I don't love you no more.
Exactly. So, and then I think people don't really understand what love is, you know, and they get it misconstrued with lust. They're just saying it.
Have you ever heard you don't love me, you just love the idea of me?
Yeah.
I feel like it's like that.
But yeah, I think love is more of
that's what lust is.
More of a responsibility thing where both parties are willing and able to go through the rough times and the bad times in order to tough it out, to be responsible for each other and build each other up to the best people that they can be.
Do you think,
regardless of how you feel about it? I think people get fucked up whenever they bring their feelings into it, even though there should be a
into the relationship.
Yeah, because even though that there should be a sexual attraction there shouldn't. I don't believe that's all that there should be is just sexual attraction.
So you don't think that we should talk about our feelings, or like
no? I'm saying that you should have your feelings validated to one another in the relationship, but at the same time, it shouldn't just be based on feelings.
Yeah.
It should be based around responsibility that you have to one another.
In a way, like you have a life that you take care of, and you was managing before they came around, and so did they. Like, how do they connect with each other?
That's important.
Being sexual,
like building each other up, and it's going to be in different ways because men and women are different, and they do different things.
Do you think that men's version of love is different than females?
Oh, absolutely. So they cater to each other by the things that they lack. So men are more logical.
Men is like, at least I feel like my job is to provide.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm disposable. I could die at any given day. Like I want to leave something behind for my family.
Yeah.
That's all I care about.
Yeah.
Like
that's
my job as a man is like
that's the
and I'm replaceable. For a lot of like, men, you know, I could be traded at any given day for another man.
Yeah.
You know, but at the end of the day,
I had this
that's
damn
all
bro.
That matters to me.
I was talking to somebody who was their answer all the time is I want to kill myself, and I was telling them like, okay, so what is keeping you from doing that? At that point, like you're at work right now, like are you just making money? What are you making money for? To be broke? Or I mean to die? Like you're just making money to die? Like what is your reason? And I had to think about it. Like I don't have a family, I don't have a kid, I don't have anything right now. But at the end of the day, like what are we as men, what do we think that we are living for? What we can create as our own, what we can wholeheartedly control, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it goes back to what he was saying, what he was talking about, like prepare us as men. What keeps me pretty much alive is the understanding that I could have all these things in a matter of the right timing. And am I gonna put myself in the position to be ready for it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like, damn. And you gotta, as a man or as anybody, you gotta really think about it like that. Like, what are you living for? Like, because if you don't have no reason, then you got to make it as serious as like, then I should just be dead. And I hate to say it like that, but like, either it's you have a reason to be here and to just keep waking up and doing what you're doing, or you don't have a reason at all.
Like a lot of people, say they don't have a purpose,
that's
but
why I try
it's because
off Christianity
because they dilute everything.
That gives you purpose. Like if you have God in your life,
sure.
you have purpose, and you'll never have to question that.
Yeah, I think responsibility gives you purpose. So if you have more responsibility, then you have a purpose.
And like, why are you working? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I got shit
because I have shit to provide for it.
Exactly.
And what is that? Are you providing for?
A family.
And then,
family.
Okay, then. So then that at that point, life is bigger than you.
For sure. Like that's why we really want success is to like peacocks, for example. You see the peacocks with the biggest damn like beautiful. They're showing off their whatever their assets, if you would. They're showing off their assets, but why are they doing that?
Because they got it.
To attract a mate. That's the only reason that they're doing that. But is they to attract
wouldn't flex it if they
didn't
have it.
The way to do it.
That's like, bro. I used to wake up and be like, bro, fuck, I gotta go to work.
I feel like at the same that attracts the wrong type of people.
You gotta have a purpose behind everything.
Like, put it in like my mind, like, all
right, and
like, get up,
I gotta go to work because I want to be out of here.
No,
I want to do.
And if you call out, do you feel some type of way,
bro?
I do.
I do.
I put it in my mind.
Will
you justify your
I'm not calling out, first of all, but
deep back inside, you're like, damn, I should.
Like, for instance, if like for me, I have this whole entire weekend off, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I might even have Monday off. But every day that I'm not at work, I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Like, I
felt that.
I wish they would call me because I need to be doing something to do something.
Yeah.
When I lost my old job, dude, I was bummed out for like 2 weeks over that shit.
But that's the void that like that's where Carson is kind of. You don't really have that anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, you call it, because I remember you said this to me, you would quit your job right now to just do what you're doing.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So you feel that void of like not knowing what you want, like what you're working for.
Exactly.
You have a purpose.
I have all my goals lined up, so I know exactly what I want to do.
A lot of us don't.
At the same time, I wouldn't. You know, I'd keep doing what you're doing until this takes off.
Oh, no. See,
but you want to have the mindset that like, you know wholeheartedly so much that you want to do what you want to do, that whatever happens, it's not gonna stray you away from the goal.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna quit my job until I have 1 year. It's supposed to, like people recommend 6 months, but I'm not gonna quit until I have 1 year of savings saved up.
Sustainability.
And, 1 year of whatever I saved up, and I'm making how much I'm making now at my job off of what I'm doing times 2.
Okay.
Because you got to be able to buy shit twice. So if you fuck up, it might be a loss, but you're not in the hole.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I ain't even gonna say it's risk. I've spent money thinking like, oh, I can make this back, or like it's gonna reciprocate, and it just not happen the way I see it. And be fucked up.
A couple years ago, like I bought something, and then my boy was like, "Can you buy it twice?" And I was like, "What?"
My uncle taught me that.
I've heard the saying, "Don't buy it if you
can't buy it twice,
3 times."
Yeah. Some people do the 3-time rule. Some people do the 2-time rule. I think it's more safe to do the 3-time rule. But I don't like if you want shit to happen. Like you're supposed to. In my heart, I want shit to happen as fast as possible. And if I want it to happen as fast as possible, I'll do the double time rule because I mean, you might take a loss. But like you it's a part of preparing yourself.
But a lot of times, patience is key.
And another thing about that is by the time you get there, you might not even want it anymore. You might not want to spend that money.
But you will be in a position to do something. Or like you said, you might even be in a position like you might not want to do it. Triple it then, and then put yourself in another position. You know what I mean?
Yeah, bro. And what did you say? Something like whenever I was talking about the peacock analogy, you said something like that's whenever they're flexing. Like I use it as flexing, and he was like that's not the ones that they should go for.
You don't want to.
I was just wanted to understand what you was meaning.
Like
because that just reminded me back of it.
I feel like that might attract the wrong people. You know, if you're out here flexing your wealth and stuff, like you're gonna attract, like you're gonna bring. I definitely understand what you're saying, and I was just using that as the analogy of the reason behind that their mating strategy is to flare out their colors to attract a mate. Is because like on a biological, I don't know if it's this way for peacocks, well,
but
I mean, it's different.
Like I'm talking about like on a biological level and providing and protecting and providing. That's our jobs as men. So whenever a female peacock looks at a male peacock of a larger stature, they're gonna have more colorful feathers, and the ones that are more healthy are gonna have a more colorful feathers. So, like, as a man as well, as a human, women will look at us as, success objects, if you would, because we look at women as beauty objects and they look at us as success objects.
What can we benefit? So what can they benefit from us?
What can they see? They're looking at it as and like that goes back to what I was saying.
What value do we have that attract them?
We adapt to each other accordingly based off of what our weaknesses is. So as males, we are more logically driven and less emotionally driven, and women are more emotionally driven and less logically driven. So we have to adapt to them emotionally, and then they have to adapt to us logically in order for the relationship to work out.
A woman, like I know you felt this way. Like you've been with a woman that you just can't say that you don't like. You know what I'm saying? Like you try to give every reason to not necessarily not be with her, but to be optimistic, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like you can't stray away from liking that person because she fits pretty much exactly what he's saying, you know what I mean? Like those voids that you want as a man, you feel like she hits every one of those and you can't get away from it because that's what you want, essentially, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I could get that, yeah. Hell, I don't really know.
Oh, shit, bro.
No, we got him stumped.
Do you not know what I'm talking about, though?
What?
Like, you were saying, like, in order for a man and a woman to be together, it kind of they have to coincide to
they have to adapt to each other, yeah.
And you, like, have you ever been with for men that are single,
yeah, a
lot of them are optimistic about relationships. They are against it. They feel like they know every flaw. And
what do you mean? Optimistic meaning that they are...
No, optimistic isn't the word that I'm looking for.
They're pessimistic?
It's like cautious in a way, but...
Well, no, they're cautious when approaching...
Because that's what I was thinking about. It's like...
what's the word you're thinking about?
My views on it is like... I'm not going to... You got to have something to bring to the table.
Like you're very observant, or like you're very contradicting about women in general, the whole ideology of being in a relationship with somebody because you think you know all the red flags in a way. You're very cautious about being in a relationship, and then you find that woman that like you want to be so cautious about, but she gives you no reason to have that guard. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, fuck. Like, what do I do? What am I doing?
I feel like all females are capable of, like, they know us. Like
they're capable of that type of manipulation.
But that's why I am where I am. Like, you got to have something to bring to the table. If I'm bringing something to the table, you got to bring something to the table.
Oh, for sure.
Why am I the only one providing? Yeah, I know that's my job.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
For me as a man, that's something that I want to do. But I get what you're saying. Like, you got to want a woman that already brings that without you even bringing it. So, like, you feel like you doing that is a gift.
I feel like you're trying to, you're just feeding off me if that ain't the case.
Okay, I see what you're saying. And that's where I say that, you know, you can turn a hoe into a housewife.
You can,
and
it's gonna be.
And see,
it's a struggle.
A lot of people can argue with that, but I think that it is possible if she isn't completely fucking ran through. I think that's just the saying of, whenever I say hoe, I don't mean like a whore. I mean like a girl that has been very pessimistic or not fucked a whole bunch of dudes, but I'm saying that she has her own mindset and independent, and she's not very controllable, if you would. And I hate to use that word, but that's, you know,
that's what it boils down to. Like, not necessarily controllable, but
more
like,
or less selfish
dumb,
to an extent.
but like understands that your morals and what you're trying to get her to understand are bigger or better than what lifestyle she has at the moment.
She will adapt to a good leader if she is willing to be led. That's the thing.
Not submissive in a way, but like understanding.
If you're not, well,
I feel like saying submissive is more of a bad.
Kinda. That's why it's good to look for a woman that has a good father figure in her life, so that she has something to base it off of.
Somebody that's present and like.
That's why whenever they say like
plays the role of a father.
That's why whenever they say like I need a girl with daddy issues, whenever a guy says
I feel like there's a point that men have mommy issues too, though.
Exactly, but whenever
I feel like I'm a victim.
Whenever a guy says that I need a girl with daddy issues, that means that they're going to be easily manipulated.
Like, I like women that feel that void of being a mother.
Well, you know, like take care of you.
Yeah.
What is the? That ain't
but that's the same thing as a girl saying that they have daddy issues. They want a man that takes care of them because they never really had that type of father figure or
I think that's
relationship.
No, I think females will fuck you over.
I don't think that. I think that you're talking about more like gold diggers.
They don't know how to take it because they've never had it, so they're quick to lose it.
Exactly. So they don't know what to base it off of.
But I feel like sometimes as a man too, I feel that way. Like, not even because my insecurities or I don't know about myself, but I feel like sometimes I stoop to a certain level because they have certain things to offer for me that I don't have, which is kind of like, and when I think about it more and more, it's more of like a mother figure, somebody to take care of me. You know what I mean? And to me, that fits in the same realm.
Yeah, a lot of people will look at a relationship and base their partner off of either what their parents completely missed, either what they completely missed or what they completely got right. So they're either looking for
it's a comparison to their
either looking for what their mom wasn't or what their mom is.
I look at what they are because the apple don't fall far from the tree.
You said what?
Mm-hmm. I said I'll look at what they are because the apple don't fall far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it's because they look up. That's the person that built them essentially.
Well,
that's who they look up
and you
to.
came from them.
But sometimes
be like them, whether you like it or not.
Because sometimes there's
your
the
morals
kids
are built off of them.
Sometimes there's the kids that are like, you know, I don't like what my mom did, so I'm gonna base my whole life and relationship off of what my mom did that I disliked, that I'm going to do the complete opposite of whatever she did.
I feel that 100%.
And so...
What you mean?
For sure. And that's why I completely lost my fucking train of thought.
It happens.
What was it?
Dementia.
Dementia is kicking in.
Off of what their mom... fuck.
Yeah, so... That's what they do. That's what people do. They will base...
People are not going to take us serious based off of shit like this. Like they can't even keep a fucking conversation.
I know, god dang, man.
We are so sorry, chat.
Yeah, go to another fucking video if you don't like it.
Yeah, go watch some other cool shit that we did.
What you was posting about earlier. Who was y'all's favorite teacher or sub?
Was that your favorite teacher?
No, I'm gonna be very pissed off if I can't think about what I was just about to think about. I'm gonna be very, very pissed. Oh, that's what I was saying. I was gonna go back to the analogy of how whenever
I exposed him and he had to think about it hard
because how whenever you ever heard of the theory or the time whenever there's two twins, right? There's two twin brothers, and then
when I come back from the bathroom, we're gonna get on your shit. But
exactly, we're about to. But there's a twin brothers, and they have an alcoholic father, right? So one of them will become an alcoholic, the other one will become completely sober. That's because one of them has seen the way that their dad was, so then they become like their dad, and then the other one seen how their dad was, and then they want to become the opposite of what their dad is.
You think things skip a generation, like addictive personalities? Because I do. My dad has a very addictive personality, and I don't. I can pick anything up and sit it down.
I don't know if there's enough evidence to show that like things like that will skip. And I think like your personality as well can be taught based in your values as you was taught as a kid, but as you get older you get to learn more and more about the world, so then you would basically adapt your personality to on your own and what you learn.
In my defense to it, like seeing certain things pushed me away.
Yeah.
Like it almost breaking my family, like drugs almost breaking my family up.
Yeah.
It's like I don't want that. I don't want that to ever happen to my family.
Yeah. And there's like a big argument too in the biological perspective of things of, and this is one of the biggest arguments within that space is what's environment and then what's genetical and what's environmental.
Yeah, like been around the wrong people.
Yeah, so
around the wrong crowds. That'll definitely do it.
Basically, from what I've read, the conclusion that they come to is the person that you are is built off of 80% of your environment and 20% of genetics.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that 100% because I feel like truthfully, like anybody could have an addictive personality. I feel like a lot of it could come from where you come from, though, like what you've seen growing up.
Yeah, I think most of it can.
If you've seen, a lot of tough shit. But at the same time, if you didn't have no, like, guidance, because, like, if you've seen it, but at the same time, they were like, you don't want to be like this. Yeah. Like, for example, my pops, like, he got clean, out of... To save my family because there's a lot of personal stuff there, but he got clean for us, and it made me realize like I never want to be in that position to do that to my son what I went through. Like just not knowing if your parents are going to be together, going through the whole divorce thing. I didn't want to experience that, and I'm grateful that I never did.
Yeah.
But
and see,
I feel like that could have a
coming off of like science and kind of like my personal beliefs is that I don't believe that people should take what they think that they are and use it to not take accountability for their actions. So, like, I was talking to you earlier about, like, not earlier today, but, like, right now we're talking about the personality thing, and whenever people claim that they have an addictive personality, that basically alleviates them from the accountability of their actions that they take. Because I like to believe that I have an addictive personality as well, and if I wanted to get into drugs, then I would be on it all the fucking time. You know what I'm saying? What you got going on over there? Oh,
if you could hear that, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I was trying to listen to a video.
But
no, go ahead.
But whenever like what I was telling you a while back, I was telling and him too, like a few weeks ago, we was talking about how race and the cop and race thing.
Yeah.
And then y'all are saying,
it's a choice, essentially. Is what you were saying. And that's essentially what I was saying.
Like y'all were saying, the cops is on us because we're black, and then I'm saying no, the cops are on you if you're doing something illegal.
Right.
That's the argument that I was saying.
That's supposed to be right. You know what
exactly.
I'm saying? Like, you should expect that they're doing what's right first. Why would you judge them to be judging you?
And I was using that example too from like the personality thing, because I believe that I have an addictive personality, because I do, but I know that if I did start doing drugs, that I would be able to get off of them if I did choose to do so. Because it's not really, I don't use that as an excuse for me doing drugs, because I'm accountable for my actions.
Yeah, at the end of the day, like, you being able to use that excuse just lets people know that you are aware.
And that goes that applies to a bunch of different things too. I'm just using that as an example.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying about anything. Like, you letting somebody know, like, if a bitch says like, oh, I might pee on myself because my family has bladder issues or some shit like that. That's just letting me know that to be cautious that you might pee on yourself. So if you pee on yourself, it's just us letting you know that you are being a little bit silly. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're just you don't care as much right now.
Yeah, well, medical conditions is a little different.
I mean, yeah, it's a little different, but it's still like, the ideology of it is
like, don't use it as like a scapegoat.
Yeah. Like, I mean, oh, I'm losing hair because my dad was bald.
Yeah.
No, bro, you're just losing hair because it's your time to lose hair.
Basically, what I'm saying, don't have excuses. Don't make up excuses so that you can avoid accountability.
Mm-hmm. Like, bro, never mind. I can't even use that. Or there was this one girl that was just like, I had sex for the first time when I was a little girl, so that's the reason why I fuck everybody. Literally, that was her, and that's the prime example. Like, no,
exactly.
Like, you still choose to have sex with whoever.
You're still a whore,
Not just because you were like exposed to sex at a young age that you should just fuck everything because you love sex. You know what I mean?
You can still say that 2-letter word, no.
See, and that's basically the same thing about what you were saying with the porn.
Addictive personalities.
That's what you're saying with the porn. Why you believe that you're so sexually active is because
I've given myself an excuse. I literally gave y'all the excuse on the podcast. I watch porn, so now I visualize, but and that's what I was telling you. I'm in the middle. I'm breaking those chains now. Like, I've noticed that I've given myself that excuse, but it's essentially based off of what I want to indulge in.
Yeah.
And if that's not something that I want to indulge in, now that I'm even aware, then I should just not do that. Like, and that's why I've tried to bring more genuality to my relationships, because it's bigger than just sex. Because you can have sex with anybody. Like, I could hit up somebody right now and probably pull up on them and just to fuck.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But it's bigger than that, especially once you're older, like we are, and relationships kind of matter, because they're not. You got to understand, everybody that, like us, one of us out of us three, if we were like the closest friend group, one of us is going to see all of our funerals. You know what I mean? And that's deep. That's a deep aspect. So, like, you really have to pay attention to your relationships as you get older, because, like, you're going to take those to the grave. Real, you know what I mean? Like, is that what you want your life to be? Kind of like Dylan was saying, like, he doesn't want to die with nothing or leave his family nothing. Like, you don't want to leave this world with the picture that you were just not necessarily mediocre, but like you weren't the best that you wanted to be, or you weren't around the people that you really wholeheartedly had the relationship that correlated with your life.
Like you want to leave that mark.
Yeah, like the way that I look at it is that if you were to die today, and then there is like a movie to be shown about the life that you lived,
be interesting?
Are you going to be proud of the life that you lived, or are you going to be shunned by the life that you lived?
Are you going to be embarrassed by the movie being played, or are you going to be like,
yeah, that's the way that I look at it.
I was saying like when I was explaining earlier, you have to have a reason to wake up. That was exactly how I was feeling. Like, I don't want to pass away, and even if I do pass away early before I achieve what I want to, I don't want people to think like at least I wasn't working for it. You know what I'm saying?
So if y'all had a movie like y'all saying and that shit ended like today, would y'all be like that shit needs to be seen?
Me right now, no. But I feel like the things that I'm doing to change that are going to change my answer. You know what I'm saying? That's I'm not right there where I want to be, and that's what makes me want to say yes in a sense, because to anybody that knows like the work that I'm putting in, or like me and Carson kind of joke a lot of the times with each other, and we say like you're not locked in, and I've been explaining to him that like I've been trying to put myself in a position to do things to be locked in wholeheartedly. And
wholehearted entertainmently.
And he was telling me earlier, like, you're not locked in. That's why you're not doing this with me. And I was like, bro, I actually am locked in, and I'm right there on the nose of it because of that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say, like, if I was to die, to the people that I should be taken to the grave with me in this point in life, they understand that, you know, they can tell that story. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But to the world looking at it, I'm not there yet. And that's the whole purpose of doing it, doing what we're doing.
For sure.
To write our own story based off of what we feel is right, not even kind of part of like if we need to reflect it if the world was looking at it, if God was looking at it in a way.
Yeah.
But also I got like 6 years ahead of y'all some way. It's like
to a point though, that should make you feel even worse. Not
worse.
Not worse, but it should light so much.
Like
it should light a bigger fire for you to do more or better or get 6 years ahead. You know what I'm saying? Because you was explaining that you are 6 years ahead and you know and see more.
Yeah.
So you can know and see know and do better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? See and do better. You know what I mean?
You're 6 years ahead, but are you 6 years ahead?
Are you? Put yourself in that position.
You know what I'm saying?
And once you do feel like you put yourself in a position to be 6 years ahead, then you can talk about it. Until then, you should feel like you got some shit to do. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Like, I feel like I'm behind 3-4 years, but you feel like you're behind 10. You know what I mean?
I feel like I'm behind a lot.
It's levels to this shit.
For real.
I feel like we should have been working to this shit when you were 6 years ago. We was talking about what you are doing now.
Yeah, most definitely.
You know what I mean? We could.
Yeah, I was talking about that shit for a long ass time. For real.
4 years ago. You know what I mean? But trials and tribulations is levels to this shit, and at some point we're gonna be too late if we don't start now.
Yeah.
Start before it's too late.
We should have started this shit yesterday.
But when is too late?
Exactly. When you're dead.
But
shit. That's the answer, when you're dead. But when is that?
Yeah.
So, you never wholeheartedly.
Know. Wholehearted entertainmently. Mm-hmm. Holy fucking shit. Mm-hmm. That's badass. We've had a pretty serious podcast today.
Hell yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. I just
a minute 7.
Yeah.
I'd be like, damn, y'all niggas been telling me some shit.
Yeah, bro. For real, him over here, Trey all the time.
About to pass out.
He's like, and then whenever he's talking, he's like, yeah, bro.
Yeah. So, with the pot, with the mic away.
Like, he'll talk like this. Yeah, bro. So
I fuck with it. I fuck with it.
We had a homeboy. I sent a video of just like me talking regular to the group chat, and he was mimicking me, and everybody was like, "What the hell is he saying?" And I knew exactly what he was saying.
What was it?
I was like,
"No, you can't say it on here."
Yeah, I just can't say it with heart. I was like, all these niggas got Toyotas. All the niggas got Toyotas, and he was like, "No, they didn't got no young." And I was like, everybody was like, "What is he saying?" I was like, y'all didn't watch the video before. But we just got a certain slang to us that we just sound different, really.
Okay. Well, this is time for us to end
we can wrap it up and we
can.
That
shit was hilarious.
Okay.
All right, y'all. Hold on. I got to end this damn.
Why don't we let Dylan do it this time? Dylan never does it.
He been wanting to do that shit.
I don't know what the hell.
Yeah, Dylan. Fucking
do an outro. You wanted to do an intro.
Come on, bro.
Nigga, don't post that shit. I was digging in my ass.
Was you really?
Yes, bro. I was standing up and I had a wedgie.
I didn't get it.
L7s.
Oh shit!
You know about that podcast,
dude? Tell him.
No, I'm playing.
He's not playing, loser.
No, we're L7s.
L7 weenies.
Mm-hmm. Welcome to the L7 Weenie Club.
Whatever Major Loser.
Yeah, whatever Major Loser.
Whatever.
Okay.
Major Loser.
Fuck off somewheres, dude. I mean, seriously, why?
Hey, catch me.
Hold on, let me tell y'all something. If you want to boss up your life, you got to get in with me. I walk in inside the club with at least 100. Oh, that ain't even the lyrics.
At least 150s.
Hold on, wait. Oh, God.
Oh, God.
I'm in that thing peeling and I'm lane switching.
Yeah.
Bitches, big eye. I stand on straight business.
Yeah.
Ducking on niggas' hoes like Blake Griffin.
What? Yeah.
Hey. He talking, bet I leave his face missing. Ooh. Oh, God. It's L Boogie. Don't get your bitch tookie, nigga. Straight like that.
Okay.
Gang shit.